Yeah.
My dad was preaching, Brother Steve, at 3 o'clock in the morning with no congregation around. And I put in my ears because it woke me up, and I went and lay down on the floor and I heard my dad preaching. And the next, when he got done, of course I fell asleep there and I woke up on the floor. Next morning I asked my mom, I said, Mom, was Dad preaching last night? She said, yeah, son, your daddy said that the Lord woke him up and gave him a message for your brother Dallas Jr. and said he recorded it on tape and we're sending it today over to where he is in Vietnam. Well, a few days went by. And then on Christmas evening, the phone call came from Da Nang, Vietnam. And you could hear my mom, there was such joy in her voice, because that was her son calling, who was over there. And she would say, oh Dallas, I've been waiting all day for your phone call. Never forget it. And all of us gathered around with my dad. My dad talked to him. And my dad was a big man, but my dad had a very tender heart. My dad could say 2 words to him on the phone and just break down, and you'd see those hot streams of tears coming down his cheek. And he'd do that sometimes preaching. And he was talking with his boy, and my mom would cry. Every one of his kids got to say something to him. But here's something I'll never forget. He told my dad told us in church several times. He said, my brother told him, he said, Dad, he said, I got your tape the other day. And he said, I really didn't have time to sit down and listen to it all at once. He said, because we're busy, and he said, we're having to go out and do different things, with our soldiers and what was ordered to us. But he said, Dad, we all got to come back. And he said, and today on Christmas Day, he said, I got to play that tape all the way through. And he said, and I heard you preaching. He said, Dad, I sure do miss your preaching. And Dad was just weeping. He said, but Dad, what I want to tell you is that when I got done listening, while I was listening to that, he said, it felt like a big hand reached down and get a hold of my heart, Dad. And he said, while you were yet preaching on that tape, he said, my heart got convicted. And I knelt down right where the tape player was. And he said, Dad, I gave my heart to the Lord today. Now, there was no greater Christmas news that could be heard than your boy giving his heart to the Lord.
Amen.
2 days later, while that my father was ready to go to Kentucky for revival, it was early in the morning. My mom and me were there at home.